Well, hello everybody. This is Big Bear, Tony Sandoval. I had a question come up on Facebook by Steve, asking a question about wearing gloves and getting stung. I thought it was a pretty interesting question. Um, a lot of people wear gloves. Steve mentioned wearing like dishwasher type, the rubber gloves. I know a lot of people who have tried those. Um, I know a lot of people like myself who don't wear gloves at all. Then you have people who wear the traditional leather or goat skin gloves. Um, People wear gloves primarily to avoid getting stung and secondary to avoid getting propolis and stuff on their hands. Um, that's why the whole glove thing happens. It's to prevent stings. I don't wear gloves, and I don't recommend people wear gloves during beekeeping because it's important to use your hands as part of a hive tool. If you can't feel properly, you can easily squish a bee. Um, Squishing one bee, some people might argue, is not the end of the world in a hive full of tens of thousands of bees. But on the other hand, you have to remember, chemically, biologically speaking, whenever you squish a bee, you are causing that bee's the guard sting pheromone. You're crushing that, you're exposing that, and it alerts the other bees. And it brings more bees to be on guard, to be defensive. So we want to avoid squishing bees. We want to avoid killing them. We want to avoid having bees sting us because we handled them improperly. The best way to do that is to use the most sensitive tool we have when we're handling the frames. That tool, our hands, with no gloves. And then, of course, the next question is, well, what if I get stung? You're a beekeeper. I'm sorry, but my answer to that is going to be suck it up, buttercup. You need to be able to take, I don't care what gear you wear, eventually you're going to get stung through the glove or through the jacket or veil, or bee will crawl up in it. It's almost inevitable. It may take a while, but it's going to happen. To me, it's something you got to learn to deal with. You have to learn to accept. There's more good to be gained in handling a hive better properly by not wearing gloves than there is to lose in worrying about getting stung. In terms of making a mess, wash your hands. Sometimes propolis is a little hard to scrub out, but it's a small price to pay. We're back to, you gain much more by not wearing the gloves than it costs you to wear them. So that's my answer to that. If you get stung on the hands because you don't wear gloves, or get stung anywhere for that matter, one thing people will do is they'll use their smoker. They'll smoke it up, get some good smoke going, and put smoke around the area you got stung. What that does is it helps disguise that pheromone scent. Remember, we were talking about that attracts. It acts like a targeting scent for other bees. They know right where to go. They know some bee died, and it died stinging you, and you are now the target. You're marked. Using the smoke to kind of disguise that scent helps prevent more bees from coming to sting you, which prevents more stings, which prevents more of the pheromone chemical being released, and it just increases until you have, bee sting mania happening because the bees are just going crazy from all of the such strong, heavy chemical scent of all those stings and bees dying. So use a little smoke. You can also use on your, you get your hat and veil. If you wear a one-piece, jacket and veil, or maybe the whole suit. If you don't wash it regular, and if you're an active beekeeper, sometimes that's hard to do, to get it in the washer machine every couple of days or so, and you're exposed to bees in there, leave a stinger or two in your jacket, and the scent builds up. You don't want that to happen. Febreze, it's like in the air freshener aisle. You spray it on, and it eliminates odors. They have a non-scented version, no perfume added. It's just plain nothing scent. It removes the chemical scent of the pheromone, so it doesn't have that anymore. It basically, you spray that on your jacket, on your hat and veil. You could even squirt it on your pants or your shirt if you happen to take a sting through your pants or shirt. Squirt it on there. Again, it eliminates that chemical pheromone scent, and it reduces the bees' defensive response to you, their targeting response, which is what we're trying to avoid, because by allowing that to build up, it increases stress on the colony. We don't need to increase stress on the colony. We need to reduce stress on the colony. Those are different steps we can take to help reduce stress, just simply by, don't use gloves, because it helps you handle the frames more carefully. The more carefully you handle the frames, the less damage you do, the less you cause bees to get defensive and sting, etc. So you're reducing stress by not wearing gloves. You learn to handle them calmer, more evenly, more smoothly, more fluidly. And by doing that, you keep yourself calmer. And it just kind of goes from one thing to the next. You stay calm, the bees, you handle the frames calm, the bees stay calm. It kind of channels that way. Plus, it becomes a more enjoyable experience for you, because you're not worried about getting stung all the time. You're handling them in such a way. Use a little smoke to cover the scent. If you don't have a good smoke going, if you don't have a strong scented smoke, like good pine needles will build up a good puffy white smoke, cool smoke to disguise that. If you're not sure, you got a little thin wispy, or your smoker ran out, keep a bottle of that non-scented Febreze spray bottle on you. Keep it as part of your toolbox. Spray it on your jacket, your hat and veil, on your clothes after you've done working a hive and before you go to the next one, because that'll help keep, if you do have any of those chemical pheromones on you, when you go to the next one, it's just going to start inciting those bees from the get-go. We want to minimize that. Why start something if it's preventable? So there's some tricks you can use to handle frames without wearing gloves, and still be effective, and not have to worry as much about taking stings. But to be perfectly honest, a lot of people don't like it when I say it. A lot of people disagree, and it's beekeeping. It's just part of what it is. You're going to get stung. Better get used to it now and move on. It's just what happens. So, excellent question. Thank you, Steve. And anybody else has got some more questions about beekeeping related stuff? I love to get these questions, and they make me think about things and try to find ways to teach people. And we go from there. So I look forward to the next question, guys. Have a good one. Enjoy your bees.